Fort Bragg Coastal Trail, Alder Street Loop. The parking at Alder Street is rough, broken pavement, uneven edges, and a trail entrance that feels a little prohibitive at first glance. But that's the funny thing about this loop. You step past that awkward beginning and almost immediately the coastal trail opens up into one of the most beautiful stretches of Fort Bragg, and it leads straight to my favorite loop. Once you're past the first few yards, the trail smooths out and heads toward Otsuchi Point, where the ocean spreads wide and the wind comes clean off the water. From there, the path bends northward toward the old Dynamite Shack, still sitting out on the bluff like a leftover from the mill days. A little further on, the trail drops into Glass Beach, where town and coastline meet. The loop then continues into town past Holmes Lumber and Rossi Building Materials, two long-standing pieces of Fort Bragg's working background. Heading south on Stewart Street, you pass the Weller House and the Stewart House, both standing tall with their own stories. Then the trail slips through the Skunk Train parking lot, past the depot and the trains, a quick reminder of the town's timber and rail industry. A few more steps brings you to the company store, the unofficial gateway to downtown and the end of the loop. And the reward is waiting right there. Piachi, where I can sit down, refresh with my favorite beer, and then head home. A simple finish to a simple walk, just Fort Bragg being Fort Bragg. The loop itself runs a little over 3 miles, depending on how far you carry it into town, and if you take all the side loops. It's an easy walk once you're past the rough start at Alder Street, mostly flat, mostly open, and always carrying that steady ocean breeze along the bluff. Otsuchi Point is one of the quiet gems along the Fort Bragg Coastal Trail. Named for Fort Bragg's sister city in Japan, it marks a place where the bluff opens wide and the Pacific feels endless. The trail rises gently here, giving you long views of the coastline and the old mill site below. It's a spot where the wind always seems to come straight off the water, clean and steady. Hold on to your hat. Every time I pass through Otsuchi Point, I slow down a little. It's one of those places where the ocean reminds you why this trail was worth building. There's history tucked all along the way, even if most people walk right past it. The trail crosses land that used to be part of the Union Lumber Company mill site, a place that powered Fort Bragg for more than a century. The Dynamite Shack you pass is one of the last physical reminders of that era, a small concrete bunker where blasting powder was stored for the mill operations. If you take a left at the Dynamite Shack, there's a side trail that slips closer to the bluff than the main coastal trail. It's narrow and a little rough in spots, but worth every step. From here, the ocean opens up wide, with long views north towards Glass Beach and south towards Otsuchi Point. The sea stacks below catch the waves and send the sound back up the cliffs, giving this spot a steady, quiet rhythm. It's one of those short detours that reward you for walking just a little closer to the edge. Simple, open, and always beautiful. This is one of the welcoming committee squirrels, still hoping for handouts even though it's illegal now to feed them. They used to get bold, even aggressive in their begging. These days they just watch, wait, and hope someone forgets the rules. This used to be a stairway, but winter storm waves washed it away several years ago. All that's left now is the drop to the sea stacks below and the sound of the ocean working the cliff. Nature takes back what it wants out here, and it doesn't take long. You can tell this is Glass Beach by all the people walking around. It's one of the busiest spots on the trail. You can view it from the bluffs or take the easy access down to the beach below, where you might still find a few pretty pieces of ocean-buffed glass. Glass Beach sits on the remains of the old city dump where decades of discarded glass were tumbled by the ocean into smooth, colorful pieces. It's one of the strangest transformations in town. Trash turned into a landmark. From here, you head back into town, walking past Rossi Building Materials and turning right on Stewart Street. Once you reach Stewart Street, the history shifts from industrial to residential. This was the house I rented back in 1986, my first home in Fort Bragg. It still has the tallest palm tree on the street, standing right there like a marker from another chapter in my life. Funny how some places hold their shape even as everything else changes. Then you pass by the Skunk Train Depot, where the old logging railroad still runs tourist trips through the redwoods. The depot, the engines, the tracks, all of it ties back to the days when timber was king and the railroad was the town's lifeline. And that's the loop, a mix of ocean, town, and history, all wrapped into a walk that ends exactly where it should. Piachi. Thanks for taking this walk with me, and thanks to all my subscribers. I appreciate you. And if you're new and want to subscribe, just click on my picture at the end of the video. It's free. See you on the next walk.